You've seen us build a bat cave in the past, but this here is a cat cave. This is a much more basic modification that probably relates to the vast majority of people. This is something that you can do in your backyard. One side of this container is just regular dry storage, and we built a partition wall and then framed, insulated, and lined the interior, added a window and our new doors, and I'm going to show you that shortly here, so stay tuned. Hope you learned something. Our windows and doors don't get enough credit in a lot of our videos, and we often just gloss over them, but there's actually a lot of innovation that's going inside of these things, and we've improved them quite a bit here. And so this here is our 32-inch composite door. These frames are a lot sleeker than the 36. There's not a lot of frame exposed here, and it's mostly just corrugation. And so that same thickness of the frame on our 32-inch composite doors, super well insulated doors. The way to go, in my opinion, if you're looking for something in your backyard. Same goes with our window framing kits, our version 2 window framing kits, which are very sleek. And this here is a brand new prototype, something that's going to be available to you shortly. This is a 20-inch wide and 60-inch tall window. This can either use a vertical slider window if you want ventilation, or you can put a picture window in here. And what I think is going to be amazing with these is that you can do multiple picture windows and then just space out certain corrugations. So you could have 2 of these or 3 of these beside each other. And architecturally, being a rectangle and shipping containers being rectangular, I think that fits well. It's a lot better than a square window in the side of a rectangular box. Another thing we're working on is a 60-inch wide version and 20-inch tall. So potentially you could have a vertical window and then a horizontal, and you get yourself, who knows, some different features, whether you stack the one on the top or the one beside, but something you can play around with a more residential look and feel to shipping containers. So if you're looking to build a lakeside retreat or potentially a container home, in my mind, I think people are gonna elect to go with this style of window rather than just the 42 by 30 that we offer. Let's jump inside, check this thing out. Modifying a container like this is actually very easy. With the steel stud brackets, we can mount those right into the top 60mm tubing. Then we just take our steel stud track and work from the ceiling down. And it's quite simple to insulate this, especially when there's no electrical in the walls. And we just phone our spray foam contractor. That is the best way to insulate these things. And once that's done, we just needed to plywood line the interior. Something cool that we did here is we utilized corner chamfer for concrete forms. This is a triangular shape piece of wood here that we can air nail right into the corners. We even utilized it as the baseboard down below and the crown mold up high. And that allows this plywood to move as this container moves. You're not drywall mudding and taping seams and having all that cracking. So it moves with the container and it finishes up really nice and it matches the plywood look. One thing cool we did here, our corner casting covers up at the top, they're typically aluminum and they protrude in here, and it's kind of hard to finish around there. And so we can see Brady used his carpentry skills and he actually put plywood on all 3 sides of that corner casting cover, and he continued that crown mold around that, and that trimmed up very, very nice. I'm very proud of that. And so in this space, this could be utilized for many things, not just storing cats. You could have this as a little office, and we've done this often as like an office storage combo units for a lot of construction sites. But in this instance, I'm not too sure how the cats are getting in and out. I think they're gonna be putting a cat door in the man door. So aside from storing cats, what would you actually use this space for? And we're always interested, and sometimes that affects the way that we design our products. So if you can leave comments down below, it's always helpful. And here it is, here's that partition wall. So this is what it looks like on this side. This is a 20-foot container, but only half of it is insulated and lined. Let's go check out the other side. Ta-da! This is pretty basic in here. It's an empty 20-foot container that's partitioned halfway, and there's nothing done in here. Some things you could do would be to install some passive ventilation. So if this thing is closed right up, it can condensate in here. It's not going to in the insulated side with that spray foam. And so passive ventilation is always a great idea anytime you're storing any kind of valuables inside of a shipping container. Other things we can do in here, and that I would potentially do, is strut line the walls and potentially cross the ceiling. So if you put the MSS single brackets along the walls, now you can install bolt-on shelving, you can have pipe racks, and you can repurpose those things for many different things, whether you're storing hockey bags or golf clubs or whatever. And so you can really make a modular interior in here. There's also, because it's not spray foamed, we have hanging shelf brackets. So those actually hang up in the D-rings and they give you 3 courses of shelves. That's great because you basically triple or quadruple the size of this thing and get so much more storage in here, and it leaves your floor unobstructed. So sometimes you can get a full pallet in here. On high cubes, you can actually like drive lower quads and snowmobiles underneath there. So you really maximize the space by adding shelving. Or if this was like a hunting shack or something, you can actually just leave this wide open and you can pull your quad or your Argo in here. We've seen that so often in mods up here in Saskatchewan. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope it was helpful. It's a pretty basic modification, but sometimes this is what happens way more often than our fancy wastewater treatment plants or our solar hybrid systems or washrooms for municipalities. So we really want to show this off and just keep things basic in certain videos. And if you guys want more videos like this, please let us know down in the comments below. But for now, please help us out. Give the video a like. If you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. And as always, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something.